Imagine finding the first ancestor in your family tree that was born in Africa. For me, that person is Quash Quarker, a man whose journey I uncovered through genealogy research. Quash Quarker was the first ancestor that I found who was directly connected to Africa. He was born in 1785, and I discovered him through my fourth great-grandmother's death certificate. It listed her father's birthplace as Africa. This discovery didn't completely change how I viewed my family's story, but it did offer tangible evidence of a connection I already knew existed, but didn't think there was a paper trail of, or so I thought. The name Quash comes from the Akan language of Ghana and means a boy born on a Sunday. While I don't know exactly where in Africa he's from, there is a chance that he was Ghanaian because of his name. His name connects him to a culture and history that survived the horrors of enslavement. By 1805, Quash and his younger brother Quaco were transported from South Carolina to Savannah, Georgia. Quash was 20 years old and his brother was just 18. These details come from a slave manifest that recorded their forced journey. The transatlantic slave trade was still active in the U.S. until 1808, so there's a chance that Quash came directly from Africa. But there's also a chance that he had already been in the U.S. prior to this transport. Quash remained enslaved until slavery was abolished. He lived in Savannah at a time when enslaved people were sold in brutal markets like the one described in this newspaper clipping. It's hard to imagine what life was like for him as he worked on rice plantations and endured the daily violence of enslavement. By 1820, Quash lived in McIntosh, Georgia, where he raised at least 3 children and lived until sometime in the 1870s. Uncovering Quash's story gave me tangible proof of the strength and resilience of my ancestors. While I may never know all the details of his life, I do know that his survival shaped who I am today. Quash Quarker's story is just one among millions, but it's a story that deserves to be told. By uncovering our ancestors' histories, we remind ourselves of the strength that we carry. If you've ever considered tracing your roots, I encourage you to start. You might uncover a story that changes everything.